Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
It's fun to go into the brutal face of battle, to go toe-to-toe, peek around a corner, let loose your arsenal, release your fury, and make the opponent pay. But I have seen quite a few players doing this with mechs they shouldn't. Sometimes the pace of the battle had changed and they didn't realize it, and they didn't change and adapt to the new situation. Sometimes they just didn't. And so I want to call attention to one key detail. Keep fast mechs moving. What do I mean by this? I mean, keep them moving. Don't go stationary. Don't sit there and go toe-to-toe with another mech. You keep it moving. In this one, you'll see shortly, I had some other mechs jump down in front of me, and it was really quite convenient to destroy them. But I'm falling back, taking some damage, giving some damage. Another mech comes up and helps. Everything's going well. And here they are. And they decide they don't want to stay there very long. And they quickly bid their farewell. That was just normal maneuvering and perhaps dumb luck on my situation. But let's move on to something else, more pivotal. In this situation, you'll see a Locust peek around a corner, take some damage, and back away. Now, in his defense, he was probably scouting. He certainly didn't know we were there. So he peeked around the corner and got back. Well, that's all well and good. Big mech comes around the corner, we start tearing into him. He drops, and the Locust kind of peeks around the corner, jumps back. In his defense, he may not have known his big buddy there was going to fall, and certainly he found himself alone. But Peekaboo is not a good role for fast mechs. They don't have the armor for it. You want to avoid frontal confrontation with the main arsenal because it hurts you. This one, I came around a corner, found a Raven, and just tore him up. He was legged, and then he died. Again, in his defense, I may have surprised him. Didn't realize I was going to come there. And that's all well and true. Those are not the best illustrations. What's his excuse? Here we have a Cicadia. I peek up, give him 2 AC-20s. He's legged, he limps off, jumps off a cliff to avoid any other damage, but he's basically out of the match because he's a light mech. Well, a medium, but fast mech. He's built on speed. Here, I'm running a Locust. I'm all about speed, not much arsenal, can't take much damage, and I'm just moving. I probably should have been weaving a little bit more to try to give him a little bit of a workout to try to hit me. But I'm doing full throttle. This mech can do up to 107, almost 170, 69 point something or other kph if you put the biggest engine, etc. This mech was shut down for moments. I just sat there, not perfect. Should have just kept moving there, but the damage stacks up. In this battle, I met some other friendlies, both other fast mechs and enemies of various classes. Big whirling brawl. You can see another Locust here, or actually Cicadia. Went stationary briefly. A good habit to get into. You just want to keep moving, taking shots when you can, because the opponents are able to do damage to moving targets easier. It hurts fast mechs a lot more because they don't have the armor for it. They've got to keep moving. It is this that the role where these mechs do so well. They're in numbers with friendlies and with enemies in a close proximity. Keep moving, you can do a lot of damage. Some things I like to do is start a pattern, then change it. So I see if I can get players to anticipate what I'm going to do, and they'll do that position, thinking I'm going to give them a good shot on me, and in return I spin around and get him in the back.
Heat level
Doesn't always
critical.
work, but it's fun when it does. Maneuver around, get this guy in the back. Keep going,
Heat
full
level
throttle.
critical.
Other light mechs, you can see the enemy side. Periodically go stationary. I'll get a good burst on their back. This is a good illustration of an opened area where you're able to maneuver. I jump over here, maneuver with these guys a little, keep them off base so they can't rejoin the main fight. Try to keep the enemy from concentrating their firepower. Disengage for a moment to drop some heat. Jump back in there, do some damage. Disengage. Basically, one mech is keeping two mechs over there tied up. I then run over here, tags a few others. Over the course of the battle, their damage on me starts to take an impact. I've got a few sections starting to open up on the torso. But I'm creating far more of an interference than one mech should be able to. Keeping a bunch of mechs off balance, dividing their fire, keeping them from concentrating on other friendly forces. Doing my duty. Of course, when they're distracted and firing at somebody else, I can just take advantage of a back shot, finish off this guy, etc. But you keep the mech moving. Full throttle, turn, weave, spiral, cut S's in the ground as you maneuver around them. Very close, that's what you want to do. Here we have a situation where I was wanting to be more of a support role. I was going to do spotting assist with LRM players. And so I'm just sitting back, spotting, using terrain to conceal my position, hiding, but I'm not in that close support role. Here is where you can go stationary, but notice I don't have a bunch of enemies around me, and I have plenty of avenues of escape. I just go stationary, hold down my trigger when he's distracted by another mech, start tearing into him. If there wasn't another mech there, I wasn't going to fire. I was just going to sit there and see if I could keep him from even knowing I was there. Or at most, if he starts to walk by me, I'll start putting shots in his back as a distraction from the other friendlies that he was going to go attack. But in this situation, I just sat there and fired. Nothing else around. I have my seismic sensors that are going to tell me if there's another enemy sneaking up on me. I have plenty of terrain I can duck behind. Worst case scenario, I can do full throttle reverse, drop off the cliff behind me, get out of sight, disengage at will. So I don't have that risk of other mechs dogging me. This is where you can go stationary. And I'm not going to use the word sniping, but certainly it's a longer range role for this arsenal. Here I have basically just medium lasers, but I'm in more medium range. So it's outside of their optimal for some of these shots, but I am doing damage. Not a lot, but just by sheer volume of fire that I'm able to deliver. This match I did almost 500 damage.
Heat level critical.
What's also interesting is the mechs we're facing. You see some of them are one of them Jenner, a couple other mechs. Some of them will do the same thing where they're going stationary to two other light mechs. Just sit there. And we tore them up. Spotting more targets off in the distance, trying to conceal my position.
Target acquired. New target
Take a few more shots on them. But you can't rely on this being a situation you can utilize. You have to keep an eye open and watch for potential situations, because the battle will change, the situation will change. And when it does change, if you don't change with it, you die. You can go stationary if there's only one enemy mech there, he's shut down, you get around behind him, just sit there and start tearing him up. If you have ample cover around you, you can sit there and just start shooting away at longer ranges. When you're not the main attraction, people will leave you alone and let you do a lot more damage. When you are in a situation where a lot of enemies around you, keep moving. I didn't have the recorder going for this battle, but I was in a match. I was running an assault mech. I was with another assault and a heavy mech, and the other assault mech was taken down by these 4 fast mechs, just dogging us, running around, doing all this stuff. And the other heavy mech there was being torn up. And they stopped the maneuvering match and just went stationary. They just stood there and started tearing up this other heavy.
Target destroyed.
I was in an assault and I killed 4 light mechs inside 2 minutes. Just turned out 1, 2, 3, 4. They were down. Here the battle had changed, so I went up and maneuvered. Cut through them, created distraction, draw them off from the other targets, and of course I need to reposition. Turrets actually got me. They linked me here, and then I can end up going toe-to-toe with another linked enemy, Cicadia. I won. But I couldn't get out of range of the turrets, and they finished me off here. But again, keep the light mechs, the fast mechs. Change with it. Don't sit there and just take the hits. The 4 light mechs that I jumped, literally they were taking fire from me, and they just stood there. I killed 1 or 2 of them outright because they were so damaged. But some of the other ones just stood there taking the shots because they were kill obsessed, thinking they're going to take down this other mech. They only cost them the game. Until next time, game on.